Welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today, we've got a CD player. Once again, I have been out and about, and I picked up a cheap Sony CD player here. I actually didn't even pay $12.99. I had a 20% off coupon. I think I paid $10 or so for this. It is a CDP-292. And I've already opened it up, but I thought I'd put the cover back on for the reveal. This one, I tested it in the thrift shop, and it was loading and playing no problem. When I brought it home, I dropped a disc in, and I noticed that it wasn't finishing its load sequence. So the disc would go in, and usually the drops or goes up, and you could hear the motor whining. So I'm thinking the loading belt is probably not engaging all the way. But then it started working again. So anyway, we'll probably just have a peek at the transport and make sure that the belts are in decent shape. But okay, I've already looked at this, but I want you to see this player was built in 1993. Okay, so if we do our math, the CD came out in what, 1982? I think the first Sony CD player came out, and I mean, it really didn't start to gain traction until I would say like the mid 80s is when, you know, it started to really pick up. But so this is 1993, and I'm just, for an example, my CDP-302, which is an 85 model, the circuit board is massive on it. Okay, and I want you to see the circuit board in this CD player. Alrighty, there is none. There is no board in the chassis. The board is in the faceplate. There's your control board, DAC, audio board, and it's all in the front. They stuck it all in the faceplate just to show you, you know, look at this case. It's one big empty case. All that's really here is a power supply and your transport, and everything else is gone. Miniaturization at its finest. It just absolutely, it boggles my mind how all that technology was basically put into that little board, and they figure, oh, what the hell, we'll just shove it in the faceplate. So yeah, I don't know if that's better, worse, what to say about it. It's just amazing how this is just one big empty tin can. All right, so anyway, like I mentioned, here's our power supply. Your mains comes in here. There's a transformer. I believe there's some kind of rectification that takes place back here. A few filter caps, and then a couple power supply voltages is what I'm thinking here. And this is our audio cable, which is really kind of chintzy. I mean, it's not, I don't even know if it's shielded or not. It doesn't look shielded. So yeah, so there's what Sony was building, you know, and it's kind of entry level models back in the early 90s. Okay, so anyway, we are going to take this transport apart, but before we do that, I'm just going to plug it in, and we'll see if it's still kind of dying on load up here. Let's power it up. The tray operates smoothly. No, that time it worked. Yeah, it was just, it happened once in a while. As soon as I brought it home, actually, I popped in a disc, and yeah, now it's going. I think what we'll still do is we'll do a little maintenance on there. We'll pull this off. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot to this player. And then we'll just give it a quick service. So I'm going to unplug it. And I'm going to guess that we probably, actually, you know what? I should probably open up the front. You usually need to plug it in, open it up, and remove the door, unplug it again. Usually there's a little front of the door here. You just want to remove that. That helps to remove the, just like that, just take that out. And now, you just plug it back in and put the door back in. And turn it off and unplug it again. And as you can probably guess, this thing weighs next to nothing. Okay, so next I think what we'll do is we'll remove the faceplate. 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Well, this is weird. There's a screw in the middle of the foot. There's a screw here, and there's a screw on the outside of the foot. And just like classic Sonys, I usually tell you which screws to remove with a nice little arrow. I'll probably spend some time doing a physical restoration on this as well. And then I'll throw it into storage. I've got a few CD players in storage. I think I did a video not too long ago about that $5 Sony. That was I think a little bit later. I think it was a 99 model, and it actually had an actual board on it. Whereas this one, stuck it on the faceplate. Okay, I'm gonna guess, yeah, so just release these 2 clasps on the side here. But before we do that, let's remove our cables here. There's your audio cable. Guess some kind of power cables here. So that's all loose. And I'm gonna think that this just slides forward. And it does. Okay, we're going to want to remove this ribbon cable. It's very, very thin. So we're going to be gentle with this. Give it a pull. There we go. And there's the entire mechanism for this Sony CD player. Like I mentioned, all in the faceplate. Oh, what's this? $14. Huh, I wonder if somebody had that at, like at a garage sale or something. And a spider's web. So if you want to do like a restoration on this, what you would want to do next is you would want to remove all the screws that hold the circuit board down and pull out all the guts, and then give this a nice clean. But for our purposes right now, we're just going to set it aside. All right, and that leaves us with the transport. Looks like 3 screws on the transport here. There we go. There's our transport. Nice and compact. And we can take the chassis here and just move it aside. Sure, that's kind of in shot there. Okay. Okay, so to release the disc clamp, you just want to press in here as you're lifting. And the same on this side. Just a couple pieces of plastic. Don't push too hard. I'm sure they'll snap real easy. clamp should come up. Okay, just like that. There's your disc clamp. Set that aside, and that releases the tray here. Here's our laser. Let's see what kind of laser we're dealing with here. If it's a common one or not. It's a KSS 240A. So KSS 240A. It's got 3 adjustments. Probably focus, laser power. Something else. Should we download and see if there's a service manual available? All right, so we are going to service this thing, but first we're going to check for belts. Okay, so this just basically comes right off, and here is our loading belt. And this is very similar in design to that other Sony that I did. Let's zoom in even closer. You got 1, 2, 3 gears, a belt, which we're going to clean. And then we'll lubricate the motors, give the laser a quick cleaning, see how the rail looks clean, like really clean. But first off, we're going to do this. Centered. No, not really. Okay. So 1, 2, and let's see our belt. Yeah, our belt's seen better days. It's definitely kind of oblong, and it's still fairly elastic. It's probably why it's slipping a little bit. I'm going to do the old trick. I'm going to put it in the microwave in boiling water. I don't love this. Definitely don't like the way it's shaped. I mean, you could change where it sits if you wanted to, but I'm going to boil this. I'm going to give it a nice boiling. Oh, that's how our tray drops. I'm just going to give this a quick boiling, and I'll be right back. So keep in mind the shape. It's kind of squarish. We'll see what the boiling does to it. Be right back. While that belt's boiling, I've gone ahead and, sorry, I'm a little bit anal about this kind of stuff. I've pulled all the screws off, and I've just removed the board. You have to remove the power switch as well. I mean, you don't have to, there's a plug there, but there's our main board. So you got some very short capacitors here, obviously to, you don't have a lot of depth here, so you can't use a big tall capacitor, but yeah, so that's basically all there is to this. I'm sure one of those is a DAC there, and that's it. I mean, that's all the motor controls, all the electronic controls, all the DAC, everything right here. Just crazy. So we're just gonna set that aside, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this entire faceplate a nice cleaning. There's a little bit of scuffing on the front here. Probably give that a clean too, and there's a little bit of dirt all over the place, so we'll give this a cleaning and come back before we put it back together. Here's our belt after the boil. So as you can see, it's not a perfect circle, but it doesn't have all those trapezoidal angles anymore. It's almost a circle again, so much better. Not particularly elastic anymore, but I don't know what the original condition of this belt was. So anyway, get back to that faceplate cleaning and shall return. Okay, we're going to clean our belt with a little bit of alcohol. Remove any grease or oil that might be on it, that might be preventing it from getting good friction with the pulleys. And we'll clean those pulleys too. So you have two pulleys here and here. This is for the loading motor. If the loading motor isn't loading correctly, the mechanism won't complete its cycle, and it won't, the switch won't get pushed in or pushed out, and it won't spin. And that's the problem I was having when I first brought it home. And also, who knows how long this has been sitting around, right? So, I mean, it could have been sitting around forever. So just by me exercising the mechanism a little bit, probably got things going. The juice is flowing again. There's another, this must be a, there's another switch here. This must be a trip switch that tells the microprocessor that the door is closed. One of these is anyway. There's two here. And what we're going to do, we've got, looks like we've got a motor here. And this is our main motor here for the tray, the disc tray. We're going to just give those a drop of oil. So I usually just turn it on its side and just lift up the tray as much as you can just to get your oiling needle in there, and give a little shot of oil. And you can wipe up any excess because I think I overdid it a little bit. And here's our loading motor, same thing. Just get a drop of oil on that top spindle bearing. Just like that. And our last motor's over here, which is our drive motor. Same thing, one drop. Make absolutely certain that you don't have any oil on any of these pulleys. You have to be completely clean or your belt is not going to turn. Same goes with your fingers, especially when you're putting the belt back. Okay, let's do exactly that. I don't like when the belt goes kind of crooked. For me, ah, shit. Well, that's got a little bit of grease on it, this pulley. Grease is fine. Let's try that again. There we go. Great. Okay, that's good. Let's clean the disc tray. And last but not least, I like to use just a dab of window cleaner. See that okay? On a Q-tip. This lens actually looks kind of dirty. Yes, it was definitely dusty. And just give that lens a nice cleaning. Wow, that was dirty. I haven't seen one that dirty in a long time. You won't see it on here. A little bit you will. But it was very cloudy. You know what else was really cloudy that I cleaned? This, the numeric display. It was filthy. So that's all nice and shiny now. Okay, well, I think we can start putting our gears back. This one went there, right? And this one goes here. Good. And then we can put our tray back. I don't think it really matters how it goes as long as it's engaged. Which is right there. I believe. Where is it there? Let's disengage this for a sec. So that's fully loaded. And then there we go. So that's loaded and unloaded. Our belt's not great, I can tell you that right now. I see a little bit of grease on there too. You can see it wobble a little bit. So that's the fully in position. So I'm going to say that's fully in. And then we can put our tray back. I'm not going to do the rail. It's perfectly clean. Actually, you know what I'm going to clean? I'm going to clean this tray. I didn't even clean it yet. Okay. There. All right, there's our transport maintenance. If there's much else on there here that you need to play with, I'm not going to obviously do any kind of adjustments or anything because it was playing. It's just some straight up maintenance. Okay. let's bring back our chassis. Actually, you know what? Let's put the main board back in. So I brought this over to the sink and I gave it a nice wash. It's pretty easy to put back. Actually, you know what else needs a cleaning? There's always something. This power switch is disgusting. Definitely needs a nice brushing. Okay. So this just lays in here. Real simple. And this cable just goes in between there. And that button just sits like that. And I'll put the screws back in. I'll bore you to tears. I'll be right back. Okay, chassis back up here. We shall put our... should I put the faceplate on first? Nah. I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. There's only the one cable that goes to the entire transport, which is great for servicing, but it kind of makes you wonder how much they were able to get rid of as far as extra parts and all sorts of components and so forth from earlier editions of CD players, that they can just run everything with one cable. These ribbon cables are so delicate. Huh. Did I put this in the wrong spot? You know, there are several different locations for the transport. And I think it needs to go over one, because the door wasn't lining up. Maybe that's why I should have put the faceplate on first. Yeah, that's why these screws were going in so tight. They're kind of self-tapping. So we need to go over one slot. You can see there's all these different slots here. So let's go over one. There it is. We were in this one. Oh yeah, that's going in easier. So they must use the same chassis for different models of CD player, and then the tray, or the transport, is mounted in different locations for different models. Then again, there was a washer back here. I should have probably been paying attention. Okay, let's try this again. That's better. Okay. All right, so now to get this in. Kind of flimsy. Really flimsy. Excuse my head. Okay, I think we're in. Let's hook up our power and audio lines. I'm going to run this audio line against the wall here and just keep it away from these power lines once I button it up. Okay, I'm not going to screw in the faceplate. I'm just going to leave it like this for now, just to do a quick check to make sure we're okay. All right, let's see here. Okay. Looks good. Let's see if the disc spins. It's spinning. The display is nice and clear now. Really nice and clear, if you can see that. I know the lights are kind of bright, but yeah, much nicer. It was really filthy. Okay, so we're good here. I'm going to finish buttoning it up with the faceplate screws on, and then we'll do a quick audio test. You know, it's impossible to do an audio test on these things because YouTube gets you right away. We'll put this back on as well, our door front. It just snaps into place. It's running smoothly. No complaints. All right, let me put that back on and we'll do a quick test. All right, so we got the faceplate all cleaned up, and I polished the display window here, and it looks much better. Very clean now. And I also gave this a light polish because it's a little scratched. I'll continue cleaning it before I put it away. Okay. So it's pretty fast reading. Let's just show that again in case that wasn't a frame. Nice and quick. Here's my amplifier on. Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong input. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully that doesn't get flagged. It's a very fast reader too. Not very great on the bump protection though. Holy moly. Wow. That's really bad. But you know what? for 10 bucks, what the hell do you want, eh? So another one saved from the thrift store. This one's a Sony CDP-292. The CD player with no board. Amazing how much they cut back at this time. But sounds good, plays well, looks pretty easy to maintain, and I still say that these CD players are going to be sought after a little bit in the future. Not yet, right? But people are going to be looking for just a CD player. They're not going to want a DVD player. They don't want to, I'm sure people still want to rip stuff through the computer and use it, through a DAC or whatever. But I'm sure there'll be lots of people, just like the return of vinyl, right? People are going to want to put a disc into a machine, press play, and let it rip. So hopefully, when that time comes, I'll have a few CD players that I can unload. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully we get a turntable in. It's been very dry. Summertime usually is. A lot of people are up at the cottage. They're not worrying about playing records. Come fall time, I usually get a big swath of tables coming in for servicing. And next year, come July of next year, my plan is to semi-retire from my daytime job, and I will start doing receiver and amplifier servicing. Now, I don't want to be doing repairs because there's no money in repairs. I mean, there could be money in repairs if you really wanted to charge, but that's not what I'm interested in doing. I'm interested in doing restoration work. So maybe we will extend the channel, or I don't know if I'm going to do an offshoot channel. I'm not sure yet, but that's just something to look forward to in the future. Anyway, thanks for tuning in again. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.